Hi, my name is Jennifer. I am a medium and channeler, and on today's episode, we'll be doing a reading for Gemini. I don't know why I sang your name. Let's just get started. All right, Gemini, this is what I got for you today. This is going to be timeless. Whenever you fall on this, it is what it is, and the information is yours. All right. So I pre-channeled, and this is what I got. Well, actually, it started last night, so I started taking notes. Elios, Ilium, Elios came up. Multiple realities, major changes, traffic came up twice, stability, increase in awareness came up twice, troubleshooting, wavelength, measured expectations, mystery, elevation, thoughts, mind, higher awareness, which has to do with less impulsivity, higher ground, mystery, conclave, autonomy, magnified power. And I also had attraction potential, sovereignty of mind, body, and soul. So alignment of all three. Please, apologies for the camera shaking. I really don't know how to fix it. So bear with me. Okay, so to start off with the sun. So I had the sun. The reason why I speak of the sun is because I already selected the cards in advance. So we're going to go with that. Why speak of the sun? Because Helios is the Greek god of sun. He's the sun god in Greek mythology. And as I was welcoming this information, speaking of the sun, the council light is here. As I was welcoming the information, receiving the information, they showed me the sun and the multiple rays coming from the sun. And they said to pay attention to the sun rays. So I'm looking at the sun rays, and they're telling me how many there are. So there are infinite possibilities, infinite sun rays. So this describes the possibilities, the realities that are being created. I'm going to say it per second, apparently, that are being created per second as Gemini completes its cycle of unwavering faith, in a sense. Unwavering faith demonstrated, we are the Council of Light, demonstrated through the thought processes. So through Gemini's thought, there are generated realities, multiple realities. Through these realities, other realities are being created. There are infinite realities created. There is a momentum. At this time, there is a multiplication of realities and concording realities through the stratosphere of recalibrating through the stratosphere. Okay, so what they mean by that, and it's as if I'm giving you a crash course, but we already know this, and if you don't, let me give you a crash course. Whenever thoughts are generated, whether it is through your ego thinking or through divine thinking, I self-thinking, Christ self-thinking, what happens is you receive it from the ethers, shoots down through your crown chakra to be received, plops into your heart, if you allow it to, and then it reconfigures the information so that it can be understood through other senses and intellectually, but also vibrationally through your heart, so emotions. And from there, it goes back up as the codes that have been downloaded. They go back out as codes. And the way they're showing it to me, each code is embedding itself within the stratosphere. I don't know why it has to be stratosphere itself, but it creates a hook in the stratosphere. So it sits there. And as the sun perpetuates the sun rays, its rays, onto the earth, onto all the human beings and the Geminis, what happens is it fabricates, it completes the regeneration cycle through those codes. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. That's what they're telling me. That's what's coming out. So it completes, in other words, it completes the recipe. So it gives you the environment, the outcome, desired and divinely planned. But there's also, actually, it's desired and divinely planned. Because even if you're thinking in the negative, your ego is thinking into the negative, and you perpetuate the thoughts and it continues on and on and on, those codes are also generated to go into the stratosphere and the light process of everything, because everything is processed through the light, because it's a machine. Then it becomes an outcome, whether it is in the negative or the positive, for lack of better word. Whether you believe that your thoughts are yours or not, whether it is the ego who decides to think, or yourself, your higher self, your Christ self, the I self, who chooses to think through the mind of source, the information is provided through the stratosphere and generated into outcome. Whether it is a yes or a no, when you input into a computer, the result is a result. There is always a consequence, always an outcome. We have explained it in the terms of light, since we are the council of light and we produce through the light. Okay. Note, we all produce through the light, by the way. Okay, so there's that. So they're mentioning the thought process. They're mentioning the idea and the fulfillment. So the main card is fulfillment. So the outcome is there. The outcome is going to outcome. It will present itself. There's no way that it doesn't. Through this process, you have the equivalent of your heart's desire, of your completion. You gain higher awareness because you do see the fulfillment of some or not all of what you have thought of, and you start understanding. And that's where your increased awareness comes from, because it came up twice. Increased awareness, higher, actually 3 times, higher awareness, higher ground, because you see from a higher perspective. There is a higher perspective. And now I see why I see the mountain. Oh, can you see that? Potential. You're at the top of the mountain. You're going to have a higher perspective. And this, they're mentioning something that I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to explain it properly. So we have this. It's the protection card. However, they have me point at the tree and how, is it photosynthesis? Ooh, hold on. Let me find the word. Let me find the word before I say a bunch of nonsense. Photosynthesis. Is that it? Ah, okay. So they're mentioning photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. I hope I'm saying it correctly. So they're mentioning that because of the tree and the sunlight above. And also they're showing me lightning. Oh, what are those? Ooh, projections. Okay, projections. So the process of photosynthesis, I'm reading it on my computer, is the process by which certain organisms convert light energy, usually from the sun, Helios, into chemical energy in the form of sugars. So what they're saying is that the sun is providing the light codes necessary for you to sustain your awareness and increase your awareness in the fabrication of what is to come. They're providing the key codes for you, and they are light codes. Hence the reason why they're mentioning projection, and at the same time it is protection. Because stratosphere, they're mentioning the stratosphere. They're showing me like a dome-like structure where you are in. I have to search stratosphere. The layer of the Earth's atmosphere above the troposphere, extending to about 32 miles, 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface, the lower boundary of the mesosphere. Let me see. Stratosphere. So you're like in the dome. There's a protection, and that's where your codes. Oh, wow. Okay, so there is a layer of protection, and that's a stratosphere for you. To receive the abundance. Oh, that's why I saw this card. At the bottom of this deck, there was blessings. I'm not showing it properly, I'm sorry. Blessings. And that's why I see leap of faith here. Leap of faith. And again with the rays. There are rays here. Right here. So you have many cards with rays. If I look, there are at least 3 cards with sun rays. Nope, 4. 4 cards with sun rays. And there's a mountain on this one. Again. Interesting. Okay, let me continue with the information I'm receiving. So right now, the theme of your process right now for the eventual, I'm going to go back to the 18 weeks. The 18 weeks is something that came up in the collective reading. If you want to check it out, I'll leave the link below. It came out in the collective reading, and the 18 weeks speak of 18 weeks started from, funny enough, July 18th all the way to November 21st, of this year. During those 18 weeks, there's a process that we will go through where we will receive a increased amount of information, of codes that may seem very overwhelming for a lot of us, and it will have repercussions on our physical and mental awareness. And that includes you, because you are part of the collective. But in your case, it's the fabrication of it. It's the realization that you are now aware that you are able to do that you are actually enabling this process instead of simply being a victim of it. You'll now become not only aware, but the manifester, the creator, the co-creator, because it's a co-creative process with the source, with I don't know why I was gonna say Allah, with God, Goddess, all that is. And that's where you become aware of your potential, attraction of that potential. That's what I had written here. And there's always, at the end of this, there's fulfillment. So now, underneath, so I had the 3 first cards: protection, potential, adventures. So you'll be traveling, and you may be traveling physically, but what they're showing me is the travel is in lucid dreams, and it's in the ethers, in the spiritual realm. You'll be traveling. You'll be mesmerized by what you see, and you'll get greater understanding about how you function in this universe, on this plane and realm. Okay? So underneath these 3 cards, I have Hunter, the Wise One, the Botanist. That's how you pronounce it? The Botanist, yes. This is interesting. Again, they're emphasizing the rays and the, what's the word again? Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Oh, you will shortly be, you'll be shortly reaping what you've sown. But now, because you know what the process is, it's going to be on the positive end of the spectrum. Oh, this is interesting. All hands on deck. No, that's what I heard. All hands on deck. All hands on deck. What do you mean by all hands on deck? The co-creator. So you're not doing this all by yourself. This is done with your team in spirit. I'm just going to check if there's something else or someone else that it's involved in the process. I hear maturity. I don't see anyone in particular. I don't feel any ancestors or anyone in particular, but I know the spirit realm is heavily involved in this process. It's even required. It cannot be undone at this time, and it's required. That's what I keep hearing. And I also hear all eyes on you, as if there's an expectation from you to come out of this, season as victorious, or if you will come out of it as victorious. You've been put on the pedestal, and there's a lot of pressure, hence the reason why measured expectations. But you're, okay. Measure your expectations. Remember not what they expect from you. Remember what is expected of yourself as law, as light, as an extension and manifestation of the Most High. That's how you measure expectations. Knowing that you are not a figment of your own imagination, rather the prayer, the answer to the prayer of the Most High, physically made, created, having the foundation within that light, within Source. You are now being elevated to the expectations of the Most High Source, and not of the human minds surrounding you on planet Earth. The expectations are of the Most High. The credentials are, you are, simply. The qualifications, you are willing. The results, endless possibilities, and obviously, treasures, pleasures, and joy. satisfaction and peace, harmony and bliss. The orientation that can be favored at this time and is highly suggested to be favored is to align with clarity, centeredness, and groundedness. See the higher perspective, and it could be only and always stated by using the following: I choose and willing to see things differently. I choose and am willing to see things differently. Do not perpetuate the standards from the lineage. They speak. They do not know of the power that resides within you and what is being formed at this time. Find pleasure, treasure through your centeredness, through your groundedness, through your connection with the higher realms. Okay, so hence why we have this, which says the hunter, sure-footedness, ground yourself, because they're trying to see if you'll hang and not survive because you're not complying. Your non-compliance to the outer world's preferences yields great benefits. Your allegiance to your truth, which is the seed planted by the divine itself, your allegiance to this truth yields great benefits for you, your family, and everyone involved. Keep going. All is well. You are not alone in this process. Never shall you be, for we have forged a path. We have made an agreement that your awareness be heightened, that you forge this path, that you know more than what you do at this time. And as we speak, we know you feel this truth, this new awareness percolating within you. Continue on and make sure, again, to be grounded. That is our request. That is our suggestion. You may choose to not to do so. It is highly suggested, recommended that you ground and center yourself. It can be done through breath work and through meditation. And we highly emphasize on breath work in your case. So you can be centered and think clearly, receive the information clearly, and not go from one end to the other without any steadfastness. Okay, so I don't know what I was saying. I was interrupted. Okay, they're like, we'll conclude here. Okay, then let me move on to the last three that I have here. So I have Nine of Michael. Oh, and it's underneath protection, and Archangel Michael is the guardian, is the protector. Your worry is unnecessary. Focus your thoughts on the outcome you desire. I didn't read that in advance. Look at that. Release feelings of regret, guilt, or worry to your angels, so your spirit team. Underneath potential and the wise one, Queen of Ariel. Mature, practical, generous, happy. Tradition, order, the wise one. Nurture yourself and those you love, the ability to make anything more beautiful, practical, and wise advice. And it's underneath the wise one, underneath potential. That is so funny. And I don't know why I'm surprised, but I shouldn't be surprised. 6 of Ariel. Material needs get fulfilled in magical and unexpected ways. Acts of kindness, giving or receiving with grateful heart. So these are the 3 bottom ones. And the 6 of Ariel is underneath adventures, botanist, and yeah. It's growing. It's happening. Steadfast. Just be steadfast. That's it. They keep telling me to conclude here. There's nothing more for me to say. There's nothing more for me to go on. Other than there are fruits at the bottom here for prosperity and fulfillment. There's also a fruit bearing fruit, fruition, completion, fulfillment. All right, so that's it. We're done here. I hope it helped. I hope it brings more clarity to you. Thank you for joining me. I would like to thank your spirit team, the Council of Light, your guardians. Thank you for this message. Thank you for allowing me to provide these messages for you and for welcoming me to your home wherever you are. So thank you so much. Have a blessed day, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you are. Bye.